Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. The Spirit of our God is a spirit that creates and loves peace. One can tell the soul that is under his influence by that soul's peacefulness. To be with that soul is a healing experience. We can repose in that soul. We rest and we're happy to be under his rays. The soul that is not at peace with itself will not let anyone else be in peace either. Years ago, there was a great, and I mean a great, Eastern mystic, a hermit, Seraphim of Sarov. One day, a friend of his went to find him in his holy mount and spent the whole night in prayer with him. Towards dawn, he happened to glance at the face of the great starets and saw that his face was shining. It's a phenomenon that they call illumination in the East and corresponds to our stigmata in the West. They were both, however, still sufficiently on this side of ecstasy to be able to be aware of what was going on and of each other's presence. Obviously, the starlet was used to the experience. And he asked his friend, "What do you feel?" An immense well-being, an unspeakable peace. This, said the starlets, is the peace of which the Saviour spoke. That is the hallmark of authentic charismatic renewal. If a group claims to be in possession of all the gifts but has no peace, Old Nick is at work. And also, authentic worship must be in peace. That does not mean that there's only one form of worship which is received by the Holy Spirit. No, the Spirit pervades the whole world and seeks out every nook and cranny where he can operate. So he'll try his best there where he finds a soul. Within that soul's conscience, he's at work. Why? He wants the salvation of every morsel and can't bear the thought of one being lost. So he look for a chink, and we must do likewise. And so we find many forms of great beauty, great praise, all over the planet. It has not been more closed than the Holy Spirit. I would like to make just two very different references. One is to what happened centuries ago. It came to my mind actually only this week because I received an unexpected letter from what we used to call my angel, mon ange. When one enters the monastic life, one is given an angel. It's the one who is already a little bit ahead, but he's young, and he's next to you and teaches you what to do in choir or wherever. And so he taught me all the movements. I'm talking about the Carthusian life now, way back in the 70s, when I was there for years. And he taught me everything and well. He was a man of God, and his presence was peaceful. We loved each other in Jesus. Actually, I'll make a little parenthesis. In any of the YouTubes you might have seen of my Carthusian days, you can see him embracing and we're next to each other in choir. It's actually very moving and it's spontaneous. I close that parenthesis to show that actually it's the same spirit of love that is authentic and has to be peaceful, not noisy in church. And it expresses itself also in authentic modes, the sign of peace done with the heart and without disturbance to the community. But this was what I was going to say. He wrote to tell me about the death of various brethren and their illness in our community, now gone to other houses and chancellors and so on. But then I thought of all the time that I'd spent there and all the books given to read, and this came to my mind. I was given very early on by my Holy Novice Master the story of our brethren, the Carthusians in England under Henry VIII. A very well researched and documented volume with all the drama that went on, how they were, as it were, being pressed and pressed upon to sign, or else. What do we do? Well, they decided to go to church and ask the Holy Spirit for light. They all went, therefore, into the choir and sang in the Carthusian rite the Mass of the Holy Ghost, which right now we're celebrating, starts with the same words, Spiritus Domini replevit orbem terrarum. And when it got to the consecration, goose pimples went up the flesh and the spine of everyone present. They all saw the same thing at the same time. And it's in pictures that have come down to us within the family. Over the brethren were seen tongues of fire descending just as in the upper room at Pentecost. And they were given a clear vision that they had to resist and bear witness. And they stood out. No one was willing to go along with the king. And they were the first martyrs of the Reformation. And Thomas More, from his cell in the Tower of London, saw them go on the hurdle through the streets of London to be hanged, drawn and quartered at the Tyburn Tree, the first of a huge army, finishing with our own Oliver Plunkett, much later in time. They were 1534, 35, and he was 1681. And he said, Thomas More, to his daughter Meg, "Look how they go, as bridegrooms to the wedding feast." He had the intuition that his turn would be soon, and it was. One layman and one bishop, the Bishop of Rochester, St. John Fisher, who stood up while all the bishops were too shy. Does that ring a bell and sound vaguely familiar? Fire! They had the courage to speak. I make a jump. One time, when I was 13, on this weekend of Pentecost, Whitsun, I went to visit my brother, who was studying in Jesus College, Oxford. And it was Sunday morning when it came out to the Sunday. And because I was a good Baptist, I wasn't going to miss the Baptist service, so I looked for one in Woodstock outside. As I came back to the heart of Oxford, a prompting came out of nowhere. Go there and look what's going on. There was a very modern church with much glass, which enabled you to see exactly what was going on from outside. I went close, and that same shiver went up my spine. There I could see a priest dressed in this red, nothing huge going on, but something I could sense. There's some presence there, even though I don't know what it is. I make one last jump. When talking to my uncle and my grandfather and reading about it, I discovered that that same spirit had swept through Wales when they were young. And I was given plenty of things to read about it. Do you know that Wales is the country of revivals? Now that same spirit will find the people where they're at, so a completely Protestant country, you'll work within them, where they find them, because they have also two things which favour his action. Beauty in song, and apparently they would raise the roof in these chapels, repeat and repeat, go on for hours and hours, and they couldn't stop the services. The chapels were open all night in quite a few places. They couldn't stop them. And the other is the Word. The Welsh preaching tradition, where the sermon was very important and gave them nourishment for the week. And all the plethora of effects were brought in, not to be theatrical, but to hit home. And the whole body would enter into play. All the possibilities of the drama of the voice and action were used. And did it have an effect? And you know how they used to do it, and it still happens in Wales? If they're warming up and going into hoel, as they call it, into sail, the people respond and say, Amen, clwch, clwch, listen, listen. They are tuned, and there's an interaction. Why do I say it all? The Spirit of our God indeed fills the whole world, and we need to have his openness of vision. Why? All that the Lord wants is the salvation and healing of immortal souls, and we too must do the same, receiving every prompting, whatever happens. Lord, use me right now and give me your word wherever you put me.